G'day and welcome to another episode of Tech Adept Crafts. My name is Anthony and today we are doing a review of Tale of Two Cities. This is the next Kickstarter by Iain Lovecraft. We're looking at Tale of Two Cities. I have a couple of pieces here to show off. This one, Watchtower, very cool piece. Now they all do have doors which are working, but I haven't actually put the doors in yet because I'm not finished painting. I did actually make the mistake when I did this piece for the frost that I stuck the door in first, and that did actually make it a lot harder to paint. So I've learned that for this one. So we've got this watchtower which does have like a little flame in the middle. Now I'm not going to be sticking down my flame because I'm going to have campaigns in D&D where maybe they might need to light the beacon, or maybe they've got to stop them from lighting the beacon. So I can go in and place my little flame there if and when it's needed. This next little tower here was actually the first one that I printed up, and it's so cute. I really do like this this little tower, and it's just the sort of thing that you might find inside the city gates. Very cute architecturally, and I mean, Iain's stonework, I really do love it, and everything prints supportless. The only occasional ones that you'll have, this bridge here, I'll move the minis and I'll talk about that in a moment. This bridge actually prints in 4 pieces. The 2 halves of the bridge, then the 2 icons that actually go over the join, the 2 little shields. So essentially, that is 1/2 of the print, and it printed with supports where it was getting close to 90 degree, and that's it. Other than that, that they're the only supports that are actually placed. Now, speaking of supports, the supports are all actually placed by Iain's wife Lila, and she does an amazing job. I have been doing 3D printing now for about 5 years, and these seriously are some of the easiest supports I have ever had to remove. I'll go to print some of the models, and there are some amazing miniatures in this campaign as well. But I'll print some of the miniatures on a resin printer, and it's simply just pull away. To finish off some of the buildings that I've got here that I've printed out, there is a guillotine which prints in 2 parts, and it's actually self-supported. There are structures within the model that help it to stay up as it prints, so it does not need supports either. I have a piece here which I'm really looking forward to paint up. I've actually got this planned for a full little diorama using pieces from the frost. I printed this on the Photon Mono, and the detail is beautiful. I think Iain said that it was designed to be a chunky model so that it was a statue, and it would look like it is a statue, not so much a miniature. The fountain base, now I will do water effects and what have you in the middle of that, and I'm really looking forward to that. The statue is on a circular base, it fits inside the fountain. You also have a rectangular version, so if you wanted to have him sitting atop the bridge, you could do it. You could have it sitting anywhere within the city. It's fantastic. This one, Thistlewick Cottage, I think it's the Thistlewick Cottage, maybe, I might be wrong, but anyway. Let's just call it Thistlewick Cottage. It may have a different title in the end. It's actually a very good point. This is pre-launch. So a lot of these models may change for the campaign. That's a very important thing. Campaigns are just that. They're not you are not going into a store, you're not buying models, you are supporting a designer, you are supporting a campaign. So things may change as stuff is play tested, as stuff is stress tested on printers and see how it actually works. I've already given some feedback to Iain. Use it, don't use it, that's entirely his prerogative, but that's the sort of thing that happens within a campaign. You have people who test them out and feedback is given, and therefore things can sometimes change from what you see here to what you will actually get in the final product. But anyway, so Thistlewick Cottage, that's what we're going to call it for the moment. This piece, I took one look at this and just went, oh, that's such a beautiful model. That is the sort of thing that I would love to do a tutorial on. I've never painted thatch. I think that would be fantastic. I'd love to do that one. The stonework, again, is just so full of character. Every time I look at this model, I notice a new set of details that just, it really, really brings out the model. The crooked roof pattern, just so much character. Anyway, and it is fully playable interior. A little disappointed that you can't do the second floor, but I do understand that there are a lot of limitations in what we can do in terms of a print to be able to use a second floor. Yeah, I mean, we can't have everything. We've got a beautiful building. We can play on the first floor, the ground floor. We can't play in the upstairs. Oh well, I'll live with it. The little rock formation around the side. This piece can actually be printed either with the city tile trim or standalone. So you wouldn't actually necessarily need to put it in a city. You could put it out in the countryside, and that's absolutely fantastic that he's thought of that sort of thing. Love the bridge, the lion bridge. I've painted this one up, and with a red and yellow harlequin color scheme, and I'll tell you what, 10 points if you can say what movie that one's based off. That's the bridge. We've got the fountain. We've got the two towers there. No, we've got this piece, which is the Barbican, and it is absolutely gorgeous. This one does actually play all three levels. You can play ground floor. You can play the second floor. And there are staircases in each one, and then you can go up into that, up onto the roof. You can also place them in this little top tower. There is even the ladder going up into that top area. Detail, detail, detail. The attention to detail is outstanding. These buildings, let's compare them to the Frost. I have a few buildings over here that I have been painting up this past couple of weeks from the Frost, because of course I'm like probably 90% of you out there, if you have backed STL campaigns in the past, you will know you get this massive dump of STL files, and at the time you go, right, I want to print that one, and I get around to printing that one, and you often don't get a lot of time to go back and print the rest. Why? Because the next bright, shiny new toy sort of comes out on Kickstarter. It's a vicious cycle. But anyway, I have not backed a lot of Kickstarters recently, and that pretty much all comes down to Iain. I blame Iain. I have told him this one. I now compare so many Kickstarters to his work, because I'll challenge you right now, find a Kickstarter out there where you can get the amount of stuff that you do in one of his for the same value. The quality is second to none. I am astounded. Every single model I print, I love it. There is not one single model that I have printed from Iain that I have said, yeah, I wish I hadn't printed that, or I wish I hadn't bought that. Nothing. Every single one is gold, and that's rare. So we have a huge range of buildings, castle walls I think are a possibility in there, and towers, houses, all sorts of things are available in this Tale of Two Cities. It is, I think the two main forces within this is a human settlement and a dwarven settlement. I haven't seen anything from the dwarven, and I'm really keen to see what Iain comes up with that, because I think he's been playing that one really close to his chest, if it comes out at all. I mean, that all depends on the Kickstarter, the stretch goals. If you support a Kickstarter, the stretch goals are where the value added is just amazing. So the buildings, fantastic. Miniatures. I have printed out 3 wizards, 3 guards. The guards are sitting up here, and half a dozen dwarves, and a prince and a princess, which I think are 2 of the central figures within this campaign. There's a bit of a romance here between the dwarven princess and the human prince, but things don't go completely to plan. Cue the dragon. I think Iain was very clever. He did not actually send me the dragon to print, because probably would have got distracted and really gotten none of the other painting done if I'd had a dragon to play with. Yeah, they're my weakness there. So we've got human miniatures, we've got dwarven miniatures, we've got wizards, we've got characters on both sides of the forces here that are in wheelchairs, and that I think in and of itself is fantastic, but the models themselves are just gorgeous. All of the models are just so full of character. I'll be very surprised if there's not townsfolk as well, and there's quite likely, depending on the stretch goals, there's possibilities there for dwarven townsfolk, which I'll be so keen for, because I really don't know where else to find dwarven townsfolk. That's not something that I've really seen very much of. Looking around the table here, you will notice that there is a huge number of things that don't belong to Tale of Two Cities or The Frost. There is Desert Adventures, there is the Feywood, I've got the Mesoamerican there. I don't have my Asian Adventures out here yet because I'm still behind on printing those, and the only thing I've printed is that bridge I did for the Frost review. I'll get to them because they look amazing, but you need to dedicate, a good solid month to printing up one of Iain's campaigns. So those different packs that you can see there, the Frost, the Desert Adventures, the Feywood, possibly not the Mesoamerican, because that one I know is over on MyMiniFactory, but you've got mushroom packs there. These are all going to be available as add-ons, as far as I'm aware. So if you haven't had a chance to back one of Iain's campaigns before, let me tell you how this works, because I found this one out the hard way. I missed it for the first one. Asian Adventures was my first campaign I backed for him, and I didn't know how they worked at that time, and I missed out on stuff. What he does, this is the basic campaign, and it will be very, very economical. Desert Adventures, when that one was actually out, it was a $20 campaign, $20 US. Again, insane. I remember saying that for the Frost campaign. That it still dumbfounds me. And I've now printed up a fair amount of that scenery, and to see what I've got for $20 blows me away. So if you missed out on that one, you can do it as an add-on for the Tale of Two Cities. If you missed the Feywood, you can do it as an add-on. If you missed the Frost, you can do it as an add-on. These are the ways that that you can get those old campaigns for still a very reasonable amount. And I cannot tell you enough how much it's worth it. Fantastic models, fantastic value. I'm sitting here trying to think of some negatives to say about them. However, there will be army models available. We will have human knights, we will have dwarven warriors. I've seen pictures there of dwarven griffin riders. Oh, I hope we get to that one. That will be an amazing addition to any dwarven army and to the D&D settings for any sort of dwarven campaign. That'll be a lot of fun. Wizards, you can never have enough wizards, really. There's probably enough wizards there for like an entire academy. I haven't seen all of the wizards. I mean, some of them are unseen, but I think it's going to be an amazing campaign, full of wizards, full of dwarves, full of dragons and other creatures, and this is, if you want some absolutely amazing terrain, jump on over to Kickstarter, Tale of Two Cities, or hashtag T2C. Hashtag T2C, Tale of Two Cities. Jump in and see what is being produced and back that when it comes out. League of Backers is, it's an entity in and of itself. That thing just about broke MyMiniFactory when we did the Feywood. It was almost glorious to behold and frustrating at the same time. But the League of Backers, so yeah, there are extra goodies there if you're in there early, and if you're not, the value is still exceptional. I think I've talked enough. I think you have an idea that, yeah, I'm going to be back in this thing because it's, yeah. I'm planning to do a painting tutorial on one of these 2 or 3 models. I'll let you decide. So in this video, you've got about a day, 2 days from the release of the video to really sway my mind. Do I do a painting tutorial on Thistlewick Cottage? Do I do it on the fountain, or do I do it on the Barbican? Cast your vote down in the comments section and say which one you would like to see a tutorial on: the Thistlewick Cottage, the fountain diorama, or the Barbican. And I'd love to hear your thoughts as to which is your favorite campaign so far, and whether or not you'll be jumping in and backing the Tale of Two Cities. I just want to say a big thank you to my family. They've done a lot of work helping me get the terrain painted over the past week in particular. Don't forget, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe buttons, and turn your notifications on so that you'd never miss another episode of Tech Addict Crafts. You'll see that tutorial coming out soon, and the Patreon model painting tutorial, which will come out later this month. That one is available over on Patreon. Amazing model, Cthulhu-esque creature breaking out of the coral enclosure, the coral ruin. But until then, keep hobbying. I'll take a moment here to thank all of my Patreon subscribers. All the people at the Hobby Goodness and the Chord for the Bard, I really appreciate your patronage. But I'd like to make particular thanks to all of the full tacklers: Ancient Rabbit, Andreas Rocco, Charles Fadouk, David Bennett, David Scaberis, Dwayne C. Israelson, Jean Maguire, Joel Cunningham, Judy Hayes, Kevin Goodrich, Christina B., Lopiana, Michael Togwell, Night Lurker, Riri, Sean Rickmeyer, and Tazalanch. Without your support, guys, this channel would not be able to keep going the way that it is. Thank you so much.